I can't think of any more rewarding job that I've had ever in my life.
Yeah,
Just, I mean, I think about the job that we have to protect United States citizens
absolutely.
from the threats that we have coming across our borders, the people, not only the people, but even the drugs. The importance of this job that we do on a day in, day out basis, and
Right.
I'm really proud
Yeah.
of the people I work with. And at the end of the day, I can go home to my family and my kids, and be proud of what I've done for my career.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
a very rewarding job.
Before we get into the episode, I'm here to remind you that tickets are on sale right now for the College Aviation Symposium. This conference is held at The Ohio State on February 24th through the 25th. Not to mention that there is an early bird special right now for $25 off tickets until December 15th. So go get your tickets right now before the spots fill up, and stick around until the end of the episode to hear more about this opportunity. Welcome to Conversations With, the new Alpha Eta Rho podcast, where we explore journeys, insights, and stories from leaders across the aviation industry. I'm your host, Sydney Fridley, joined by my co-host,
Andreas Borg, and we're thrilled to launch this series by exploring the many unique paths in aviation with the people who live them every day.
In each episode, we will bring you closer to the real-world experiences of professionals who are shaping the future of aviation. This is a space for learning, inspiration, and understanding the diverse opportunities that aviation offers.
Today, we're excited to kick things off with an incredible guest, Matthew Nickell, a Customs and Border Protection pilot who flies various exciting missions across multiple aircraft. We had an amazing conversation about this unique side of aviation, learning how Matthew got involved in the field and how you can pursue similar paths. So without further ado, let's dive into our conversation with Matthew Nickell.
Matthew, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit and tell us about what you do?
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me. I didn't know I was going to be the first guest here, so I'm honored to be the first guest. I am actually an air interdiction agent with U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Air interdiction agent, basically a fancy word for being a pilot. So I've been doing that for a number of years, but I guess I'll go back to the very beginning. And I was a graduate of Parks College, St. Louis University, and also Alpha Eta Rho, so the Pi chapter there in Cahokia, yeah. So it was a number of years ago, so a long time ago, but I'm really glad that Alpha Eta Rho is thriving and doing these podcasts. This is a phenomenal way to reach out to members and even alumni, so looking forward to it.
Well, thanks. Yeah, we're really excited for it. So I did want to ask, what's the general day-to-day operations of what you do?
Well, I guess I'll first start off with Air Marine Operations. We are a operational component of Customs and Border Protection. So, who are we? Customs and Border Protection. We are comprised of U.S. Border Patrol, Office of Field Operations, and Air Marine Operations. So, with Air Marine, we are probably the smallest. We are the smallest component of that Customs and Border Protection. All in all, we have about 1,800 men and women who are either pilots, the air interdiction agents, the marine interdiction agents, aviation enforcement agents, mission support personnel, and the like. So, of the 1,800 people, we operate approximately just over 200 aircraft and just a little over 300 vessels. So, we are primarily entrusted with maintaining the maritime and aerial, the air security of the United States. That includes the U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico. So we do a lot of operations where the mission is quite varied. But above and beyond, we do a lot of law enforcement missions. That's our primary job function.
That's really neat.
We have, if you think about the border, many of you are probably familiar in the news here, hearing about the Southwest border along, anywhere from Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California. But we do a lot more than just that. We do a lot of missions that are on the northern border, Southwest border, the Caribbean, and even we do foreign operations. So we try to do a lot of downrange, we call it downrange anyway, missions where we're trying to interdict drug loads, cocaine, for instance, fentanyl, that are coming from these source countries down in like Colombia, South America, Panama, and transiting up to the United States. So if you really think about Customs and Border Protection, it goes beyond just our physical borders.
That's really neat. It seems like there's a lot of different aspects that go into it. Um, is there a lot of training that goes into it? How much training did you have to have coming into it?
Well, like I said before, I graduated from Parks College, St. Louis University. Soon after that, 9/11 happened, and my career took a different path. I got my foot in the door with the federal agencies by becoming a U.S. Border Patrol agent. So it's kind of interesting because my full-time job was being a Border Patrol agent, so I learned the job, learned the mission, but I kind of moonlighted as a certified flight instructor. So that's how I built a lot of my time up. Um, I got my experience up to that 1,500 hours, the magic 1,500 hours that everyone's striving for. Um, Became a 1,500-hour pilot. Um, Back in the time that I got hired on, transferred from Border Patrol to Air and Marine Operations. Um, yeah, we had a requirement of having being dual rated, so both helicopter and fixed wing rated. So I furthered my education, learned how to fly helicopters, and shortly, of course.
What type of aircraft does
Oh,
CBP
perfect.
currently utilize?
Okay, so we have a number of aircraft that we use. I got the Blackhawk UH-60 Blackhawk behind me. Um, we have several. I want to say we have three different models of the Blackhawk currently. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a Blackhawk pilot. Um, but we also have King Air 350s. We use those quite a bit. They're kind of odd looking with a radar configuration, kind of like if you're familiar with the caravans, set the caravans, they have like an external luggage compartment on the belly of the aircraft.
But one of my neighbors growing up as a kid was pretty high in CBP himself,
Oh,
and
okay.
he used to tell stories of all the seized aircraft that
Yes.
CBP had that they were utilizing. Do you guys still
Wait, that's so
utilize a bunch of
cool.
the seized aircraft, or
Well, that's one aspect I
if you're
wasn't going
allowed
to
to
touch
talk about?
upon,
I don't know
but
if you're allowed to talk about that.
well, it's very interesting though. I mean, we are trying to do as part of our air domain awareness campaign. Um, I know there's movies. Hollywood's kind of glamorized the cocaine cowboys back in the '80s, Miami Vice kind
Sure.
of stuff that
Yep.
goes on. There's still air smuggling that goes on, and we're actively involved in developing those investigative cases. So that's one kind of a neat kind of a niche, if you will, that we specialize in the air smuggling. You know, it doesn't go on. It's not as prolific as it was back in the 1980s and 1990s. Even technology has increased, improved
Sure.
on both the law enforcement side as well as the illegitimate, the illegal side of things here. So air smuggling is definitely something that we
Mhm.
are very aware of, and we um, try to combat that as much as possible. So um, it's not I wouldn't say this is our bread and butter per se, but it's definitely one of the many
Yeah.
missions that we do with CBP, Air and Marine Operations. So yeah,
Do you,
good
do you
question.
find back? I mean, he would always tell these stories about back in the day where they'd be installing bladders into planes and dropping trackers in them and catching them back coming into the U.S. Do you find that they're not really making those trips back into the U.S. anymore? Do you do a lot of joint kind of task work with the Caribbean type islands and that kind of jazz, or is it still are they still trying to break into U.S. airspace?
Well, they're always trying to break into the United States, whether it be via air or the marine side
Yeah,
of things. So the
sure.
aviation side, we have active investigations. You mentioned task forces, and we work closely with our federal, state, local partners and develop cases.
Yeah.
DEA, for instance, Homeland Security Investigations, HSI. We work closely with those partners, even with the FAA. Many people don't
Sure.
realize the FAA has a law enforcement arm to the agency, but we work closely with them and partner with them. So it's very much a team effort.
Sure. Absolutely.
Mhm. I remember talking to a representative of, I believe, Border Secure or Border Patrol at the Women in Aviation conference a couple years ago, and she was mentioning that when you're done with training, that you are a federal agent. Is that kind of similar to what you would say most employees are, like a federal agent, or
Well,
does
we
it
have a
differ?
mixture. Well, we have a mixture of employees who are both civilian and federal agents. They're law enforcement agents, so we're entrusted to enforce certain laws in the United States, customs law specifically, um, immigration laws as well. So what we'll do
Hmm.
is generally the process is no matter if you have any law enforcement experience, prior law enforcement experience, or none at all, you'll go through a basic academy at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center in Georgia. I don't remember the number of weeks, but it's not very long. It might be roughly 3 months long. Once you get the basic academy out of your way, you learn about the different laws that you're able to enforce. Physical fitness is a component of that. Even driving and investigative techniques. So you get a little bit of taste of all of that. You'll graduate with your badge and gun and credentials, and you'll be a credentialed law enforcement agent, federal agent. Um, this is where the real fun begins when you go back to your unit or your branch, and you'll be assigned your aircraft. So, um, are you both pilots?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're both pilots. Uh, Fixed wing or helicopter or just fixed wing?
Just
Fixed wing
fixed
for
wing.
now.
So,
Yeah.
Okay,
sorry to,
so
to burst your bubble, but
no, I mean I was the same way whenever I graduated. So I was a fixed wing pilot coming out of college, and I before I went to the academy, of course, you're offered a location, and then um, when you go to that location after you graduate the academy, you go back to your initial location, and depending on the needs of the agency, they'll say, okay, well, you're going to fly, you're a multi-engine rated pilot, so we're going to put you in the King Air. Or I see you have
sure.
some helicopter experience. You instructed in the Robinsons, R-22s. Well, now you get to fly a turbine H-125 A-Star helicopter. So it really
Hmm.
depends on your background and experience. Some people might be offered a position where you fly the UAS, the MQ-9 Predators. So that's an unmanned aerial system. You're going to be flying those. We have a couple locations throughout the United States for those. Um, and I don't really know a whole lot about that side of the house here. I've never been around it, but from what I understand, it's a very interesting job. The mission is very interesting. Uh, but perhaps one of the best parts of being a UAS pilot is that you're home 90% of the time. You're sleeping in your own bed. So, and that's much of our
It's
agency,
true.
to tell you the truth here.
Yeah.
Kind of differentiates ourselves between us and the airlines. You know, why would anyone want to come work for us when the airlines are hiring the way they have here in the most recent history anyway? But that's one thing I can say for myself is I'm able to sleep in my own bed here more
Yeah.
times than not.
That's
Right.
awesome.
That's really
How
neat.
was your transition going from fixed wing to rotor aircraft?
That's a good question.
Uh, well, going from a basically a rotor add going to a rotor add-on, I was able to find a Part 141 course school, and I was kind of able to go at an accelerated pace because a lot of the aviation system, the airspace system, it's the same thing for fixed wing helicopters. The hardest part for me was learning how to basically stand on a beach ball with one leg and tap my head, rub my belly
Hmm.
all at the same time. You know, so just getting that
Yeah.
physical, mental awareness of the collective and cyclic and the anti-torque pedals, and a little bit different than flying an airplane, obviously, but I've been doing it for a number of years now, and that's one of the neat things about my mission anyway. My location is I'm able to go from flying a helicopter mission um, on a Monday, and then today, Tuesday, I could be flying in Arcadia for a mission. So the variety
That's
is
really awesome.
So you're
definitely interesting.
you're not stuck to an aircraft.
No, and most people, especially if you're dual rated, as long as you're not a supervisor, we usually fly either 2 or 3 different airframes, maximum 3 airframes.
Interesting.
So,
Neat.
like for me, I fly a Cessna 206, H-125 helicopter, and the King Air 350.
That's really interesting that you're in a position to be able to fly on the regular fixed and rotor aircraft kind of back to
Yeah.
back. That's pretty
Yeah,
unique.
and
I don't think you see
Yeah.
that in many other places.
No, that
it,
seems
it all
pretty
depends
rare.
on the mission here. And I'll compare it to, let's say, our state law enforcement agencies. Um, we go different places where I could be on a border doing a border patrol mission where I'm looking for people crossing the border, and then the following week I could be be told to do a mission down in the Caribbean, St. Croix, Puerto Rico, whatever, to help out with that. So there's usually
Sure.
some advance notice in that regard. So you're not dropping a bombshell on your family and say, oh, I got to go to
Fair.
XYZ tomorrow. So uh, this
Yeah.
I will say about this job here, the federal government, air marine operations. I've been doing this for a little over 15 years now. The job security,
Hmm.
you can't beat it. The benefits, the pay, that's been pretty good. I can't think of too many jobs where you can come out the gate making three digits or 6 digits um, kind of income right out of the gate. So
Yeah.
of course, assuming you have your 1,500 hours, or in some cases, we do have a list of waivers where we can kind of waive some of your total flight time down to even below the 1,500 hours, which I guess it depends on the person by person, um, what their kind of application, what they bring to the table.
Are
Right.
you guys
And
eligible for a pension too, or?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a pension as well as it's very similar to a 401k in the civilian world. It's called a thrift savings plan, TSP. So that's a government version of a 401k. So we have both options of
Okay.
those. And going kind of to focus on the retirement portion of it, we're able to retire being law enforcement after 20 years of service. So um,
Hmm.
if people choose to, you retire 20 years of service um, at age 50 or above, 25 years of service at any time. But the one bad thing is all fun has to stop sometime. All fun has to stop sometime here. So age 57 is generally the cutoff as far as when we're forced to retire, mandatory retirement.
Okay.
right. Right.
That's pretty attractive though. Mandatory retirement at 57
Yeah.
with a pension is pretty awesome.
Right.
It's
Well,
right
I'll
up
be
Are
able to
there
there?
with
retire.
ATC.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, it's very similar to ATC. We generally try to hire people who, unless you're a veteran, which we do hire numerous veterans. We're a very veteran-friendly organization. Um, the general we look to hire people who are age 37 or younger. So unless you have some federal time in
Hmm.
already, or have let's say you're a veteran with qualified time. Um, Generally, the people we hire are age 37 or younger.
And I was also wondering what kind of qualities do you look for in like candidates, or if you are in college right now and you're looking to possibly get into this, are there things that you could be doing now to make you a better like candidate for the job?
Well, you just build your flight time up. I know that when I graduated college, jobs were tough to come by. 2000 2001 timeframe. I flew parachute jumpers for a while. While that was fun, that didn't build my flight time up near as quickly or the quality time as being a CFI. So I was a CFI for a
Yeah.
number of years. I still am a CFI, still active. Um, I really did, really found that was really interesting. I really enjoyed it, teaching people how to fly and doing private instrument commercial training. I didn't do the 141 traditional college environment. I was a little bit of a Part 91 or Part 61 slash. I guess we did have a Part 141 program at the small FBO I used to teach at, but um, that's how I built a lot of my quality time up. Other options is to, if you enlist and go into the military, you build up quality time. Let's say you are a pilot and fly the Black Hawk in the Army. You're getting quality time flying NVGs, for instance. That's good quality time that you can put on your resume. And I believe we even have a waiver for flight time, even like flying NVGs. So that's one way to kind of get your hours down, because the 1,500 hours is pretty daunting. I look back
Yeah.
on it when I was
Absolutely.
like, where'd I get that 1,000 hours? So, 1,000 hours seemed to be like I finally made it, but at least we got 500 more hours to go.
That's awesome. So what does your schedule look like? Are you on a certain schedule, or are you on call sometimes? Does it differ with how many years you've been working in the industry, or?
That's a great question. Um, Generally, the government likes to have you work 40 hours a week. We also have what we call law enforcement availability pay. So we're expected to work another 25% of our 40 hours a week. So we'll work 2 hours of overtime basically every day.
Hmm.
Um, so with that, we'll work approximately 50 hours a week, 100 hours in the pay period. Um, we'll have sometimes we'll have to be on call. Let's say we have um, a load of drugs coming into the U.S. and we have intelligence on it that, hey, it's going to be in this tractor trailer. We want you to follow it here. Bad guys don't have weekends off, holidays off, that sort of thing. So we've got to be flexible in that regard. So we have most of the guys and gals that work here, we have a understanding and a willingness to perform outside of our scheduled duty hours, if you will. So it's not like working at a bank Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. But we do work. I would say we generally know our shift ahead of time. Not to say that we work. Some of us will work a midnight shift or an evening shift, but uh, we generally will have a willingness to cover the shifts that we need to be flying on and supporting our investigative endeavors, if you will.
Good
Do you
deal.
have any memorable stories that you can share with us kind of about your aviation career with
Man, all
CBP
kinds
or
of
not?
stories though.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Um, I mean, everything from when I worked in Texas, playing hide and go seek basically with people who want to hide. They come into the country illegally, and we try to find these people. Oftentimes, they don't want to be found by us. They have a criminal background or whatever, so uh, we try our best to work in conjunction with the Border Patrol agents on the ground, for instance.
Hmm.
Um, those are always rewarding to help out, especially where I come from, being a prior Border Patrol agent. Uh,
Hmm.
I always like to help out my fellow Border Patrol agents and help them apprehend these people who don't want to be found and like I said, quite often have a criminal history, criminal background. So that's always rewarding to me. I've got dozens of those stories here. Drugs being smuggled into the country, loaded up into a car that you couldn't fit another 50-pound um, bale of marijuana in, and we apprehend them, and it's just really rewarding to be able to be part of that team effort. Um, I've done those. I've done national security events, worked for Super Bowls. We've flown for,
Wow.
well, just most recent, my experience flying for the presidential election campaign. We do a lot of
Hmm.
security events for that. Um, I got to fly for a couple presidents, vice presidents, for their security team. So that's always kind of an interesting mission to do as well. So
Sure.
there's really a wide variety of missions to do. I've got tons of stories, I could tell you over dinner sometime here, but it's been a
Absolutely.
really wild ride. But I look back at my time with Customs and Border Protection, whether it be with the U.S. Border Patrol or with Air Marine Operations, and it's been a really rewarding experience. And I know that I probably could make a ton more money flying for the airlines, and but there's just a certain, I guess, pride in doing this job. And I look over my shoulder, I see the U.S. flag in the background, and that's what it's all about, is protecting U.S. citizens and having a worthwhile job. And it's been a great experience, and um, it's just something that we need more help with. And um, I'm not getting any younger, so I always like to help the next generation come on board. And usually, in my experience with Air Marine Operations, we hire the best of the best, and
Yeah.
it's just amazing the number of people who come in with different experiences. You could be a veteran Black Hawk pilot, or you could be a CFI flying a 172. You beat the pattern up for 1,500 hours, and you come on and get hired by us.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, also,
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with going to the airlines, but I imagine that the type of flying that you get to do on the regular is pretty exciting, pretty thrilling.
Yeah, and I can almost equate it to Part 135 flying as well, um, especially when I fly to King Air. We
Sure.
are in the flight levels. We're flying point A to point B. I've done prisoner transports in the King Air.
Sure.
So flying to King Air has sharpened my instrument skills, cross-country flying, and it's just the number of missions we fly, the variety is just that's probably the best thing. Well, one of the best things about it is the variety. Is you never know what to expect. So
Never a dull
Right.
moment.
airline flying, I'm
Right.
sure I got plenty of never a dull moment. I mean, there are dull moments. Don't get me wrong. Um,
Yeah.
it, it is a
Maybe
job,
never a dull
so there's
moment in
gonna
the
be times.
cockpit. Yeah.
Well, I hope not. Although I have had my fair share of emergencies. I had an engine failure, a couple engine failures, but that's part of your training now. And I go back
Yeah.
to talk about the training here we go through. We have vendor training where we go out to recurrent training once a year. We have an in-house or in-house schoolhouse, if you will, that we
Hmm.
go through once a year. Sometimes we'll go out to a vendor. For instance, for the ASAR helicopter, um, I get a lot of experience flying in the mountains of California, and that to me is just experience that um, I don't get that often, flying in sea level places in the helicopter
Sure.
anyway.
Right.
But the training is constant. Every year we try to stay proficient. Of course, the number of aircraft you fly, for instance, myself, I fly 3 different platforms, so it does get, I won't say overwhelming, but you definitely have to stay on top of it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Awesome. I
So
feel
you
like I just
never,
lost my
never really
thought.
stop learning. Never stop learning.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Awesome.
you took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to ask about kind of, the recurrent training that you have to go through,
Yeah.
or kind of different training versus the civilian side of things, but I think you summed that up perfectly. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. So for instance, for the Black Hawk, there are people who have never flown a Black Hawk, um, for instance, in the U.S. Army. We have civilian pilots who go down to Fly 50 International, learn how to fly the Black Hawk, and come back and we do our in-house training, and they're Black Hawk qualified to fly the Black Hawk.
hmm
So that's one thing that um, I haven't expressed my desire to fly it for me personally, but I might do that to kind of mix things up a little bit, as if I don't get enough variety as it is right now. But
Sure.
maybe I'll trade off an aircraft or a helicopter just to fly the Black Hawk, just to say put it in my logbook there. But
So,
the Black Hawk mission is separate than it's just a variety of the missions that we have. It's just amazing. So but the training though, we go to
yeah.
Flight 50 International for the Black Hawk. We'll go to Flight 50 International for the King Air, or CAE, for instance. And we're it's a very high standard that we have, and I'm proud that we do that kind of training and maintain our proficiency.
Yeah. Do you see the advancement of like technology affecting this job? I think that's on everybody's mind right now, especially in flight school. We're all wondering what aviation is going to look like in 30 years. Do you see technology playing a big role in Border Patrol?
Well, absolutely, and I don't think you have to look past 5, 10 years from now.
Yeah.
It's going to be different. Even the technology in the past 5 years has evolved. Even in our camera systems that we use for surveillances,
Mm-hmm.
that has improved immensely over the past 5 years. I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the next 5 years. Um, the UASs, that's going to be huge. Um,
Yeah.
if it wasn't big before, it is now, and I can see that taking a greater portion of our missions being UAS pilots.
Is there any lessons that you might learn that you wish to impart on that next generation?
No, I mean, I kind of wish I would have known about this sooner.
Sure.
I didn't even consider law enforcement aviation as being a potential career. I came out of college and I was looking at Trans-States Airlines, Great Lakes Airlines, flying a Beech 1900 or a Jetstream, and and the law enforcement aviation was something I never even considered before. You have different state, local agencies that have their own air wings. Um, but with air marine operations, I think this is a phenomenal opportunity for young students, college students to. Um, the college students right now aren't going to be in a position to apply for us for a number of years, but I would hope that they would keep that in mind that this is a opportunity to get into a job that's rewarding. A lot of varied, interesting flying, the platforms we fly, the missions, the locations. I didn't ever get into locations also, but um, if you're willing to move around a lot, you can see a mission in San Diego, California is going to be different than Miami, Florida, or even North Dakota. So you're going to have a lot of different missions. Variety is always going to be there. I really wish someone would have told me about, hey, look over here at law enforcement aviation. And this is the ability for
Absolutely.
me, the retirement. Um, Retirement is something you don't think about being a college student, but you're
Sure.
young, healthy. I don't need health insurance. I don't need retirement, but I wish I would have gotten to it sooner with
Yep.
the health insurance, the retirement that I've got set up for myself, my family. My quality of life, I can't really complain.
No.
I'm in a location now that I really enjoy being in. Works great. Work-life balance has been great here. So um, I think working for Air Marine Operations, we're a smaller agency, we're a smaller component, and it's a great camaraderie that we have, and the mission, the high power or high drive that we have, motivation that we have to protect the American public and work together has been something that I really enjoy. And going back to the stories I could tell, um, this has been great memories. Been a great
I'm
experience
sure.
overall. Not to say that I won't go on and I can retire young enough that maybe I will go fly a Part 135
Absolutely.
gig or go fly a 121, get a taste for the airlines, whatever. But for right now, though, in my past 15 years, this has been a great job, a great experience, a lot of great memories. So
That's amazing.
I'll finish on this here that students who might be considering it or even alumni who are close to those men's, I encourage you guys to keep that USA Jobs link, USAJobs.gov, and consider doing a law enforcement job, law enforcement aviation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
no, thank you so much. I think something that we're really trying to spotlight here at Outfitter Row is that there are so many jobs in aviation besides just, airline pilot and air traffic control. And there's a lot of really unique opportunities out there, especially like the one that you're in currently. So, yeah, thank you so much for your time. Sydney, do you have anything else?
I don't think so. Thank you so much. I think we got a lot of valuable information. And I think this job is such a unique job. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate being here, being your first guest. That's been quite the honor, and like I said, being a former alumni, it's been great to be able to take part in this.
Thanks for tuning into the first episode of Conversations With. We hope you enjoyed hearing about Matthew Nickell's journey as a CBP pilot and gained some insight into the exciting world of aviation. If you're interested in learning more about the opportunities with Customs and Border Protection, we've included additional information in the show notes, so be sure to check that out.
We're also excited to share that our Collegiate Aviation Symposium, hosted at The Ohio State University, is rapidly approaching on February 24th and 25th. It is the only aviation conference specifically designed for students and is open to anyone with a passion for aviation, not just Alpha Theta Rho members or aviation majors. Tickets go on sale soon, but space is limited, so be sure to grab yours ASAP. Just like Matthew's unique role, this symposium will bring together professionals from all areas of the aviation industry, giving you the chance to explore the incredible breadth of opportunities.
Thank you again for joining us on this new podcast journey. We love hearing your feedback, so please leave a comment, let us know what topics you're interested in, and don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes. And thank you for bearing with us through the technical hiccups. We're committed to improving every episode.
Until next time, stay inspired and remember, we are the collegiate aviation leaders of today and the aviation industry leaders of tomorrow. Thanks, Sydney.
Thanks, Andreas.